of the Daf Yomi. We're on Bet, that's page number 82 here, of Masechet Zevachim. What a beautiful archaeological park here in RBS Aleph. Nothing like it to share over some wisdom from the Gemara every single day. And we're talking about a Gemara, a Talmudic parable here in today's page of the Gemara. Now, we learned in yesterday's page, friends, over here, that was page number 81, that when the blood of a sacrifice, the dam of a korban, that must be placed on the outer altar in the Bet HaMikdash courtyard, for example, an ordinary korban chatat, a sin offering, or a korban asham, guilt offering, it becomes mixed with blood from, let's say, sacrifices are placed in the inner sanctuary. Remember, there were different kinds of sanctuaries which we talked about at the time period of the Bet HaMikdash, on the golden altar, or on the curtain of the Holy of Holies, i.e. a chatat, penimiot, the inner sin offerings of the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, or you could say the community. And that is very much something that we have to look at, of course, point of resource in Parshat Vayikra, I believe, from chapter number 4, verses 3 to 21 respectively. Now, the blood was not to be used over there. This blood was not to be specifically used per se over there. Nevertheless, if a priest, a Kohen, took the mixture and placed the blood first in the inner sanctuary and then on the outer, let's say, altar at that point in time, the service would be valid ex post facto. If, however, let's say, it was done in the reverse order, Rabbi Akiva is going to rule that the blood of the sacrifice that was placed on the outer altar will now become invalid. It's not going to be good enough at that stage in time because of that specific structure, how it was done. And we spoke all about invalid sacrifices on previous pages of the Gemara, respectively, which we've dealt with over so far inside this series over the last, since we started. We've already been recording videos on this nearly 3 months, and we spoke all about it, especially towards the beginning pages, respectively, which I very much recommend everyone to watch over those. Okay, so since you would have become disqualified upon, let's say, being brought into the sanctuary. Now, the Chachamim, the great rabbis, limit this disqualification only to the cases of the Korban Chatat, since that is a sacrifice that is specifically mentioned in the Pasuk in the book of Vayikra, I believe in Parshat Tzav, if I'm not mistaken, in chapter 6, verses 2 to number 3, as we've discussed about that, as become disqualified if it, let's just say, at that point in time, if its blood was brought into the sanctuary. That's a case scenario over there, friends. Okay, now the Gemara on today's page clarifies the reasoning behind Rabbi Akiva's ruling, given, let's say, the fact that the passage in the book of Vayikra at that point in time does, let's say, at that point in time, in fact, mention a sin offering specifically. Now, by way of explanation, the great Rabbi Yehuda, quotes Shmuel as offering now a parable. We did say that we're going to give a parable over here, mashal, at the start of this video, and boy, we're going to get it now over here. So he offers a parable, a mashal, as it's translated over here. Rabbi Akiva does. And if a student is sitting before his teacher and he dilutes his wine for him using hot water. Now, in Talmudic times and times of the Gemara, wine was ordinarily purchased in a concentrated form and was diluted over there, let's just say, with 3 parts water to 1 part wine. Now, when the teacher asks him to prepare another cup of wine for him, if the student asks, with what? Over here, that's his question, i.e. with hot water or with cold water, the teacher will respond that if until now he was using hot water, the new request must be adding an additional element, and he means with either hot water, hot or cold water over here. Now, I think according to the great Tosafot, respectively, great Talmudic commentators in of itself that they were, I think the teacher's argument in this parable is that if he simply wanted the same thing, he would not have needed, let's say, to have it at that point in time. I'm just going to get some light over here because the sunshine is just very, very beaming just from the position that I'm in at the moment. But we do need rain at the moment, so I will stress that out over here. Now, according to Tosfos, the teacher's argument in this parable is that if he simply wanted the same thing, he would not have needed to make a special request, since this is what the student would have prepared in any case. Now, Rashi's going to weigh in over here. Another great time with the commentator. Reading the Gemara has the teacher asking specifically for hot water, by explaining that since hot water was already the standard being used, had he wanted hot water, he would not have needed to specify it over here. Since he emphasized that his request was for hot water, he was actually indicating that it could have been either hot or cold water. Now, this parable, let's just say to our case, is that the context in the Vayikra, which was, I believe, a Korban Chatat at that point in time. Now, somewhat, let's just say, counterintuitively, when the Torah emphasizes in this verse, in chapter 6, verse 23, that the law applies to a Korban Chatat, it is effectively indicating that the law applies not only to a sin offering, but to all sacrifices. How we, like say, punch together this parable of the Gemara that is given over, and so on and so forth. So very, very interesting over here. We spoke in yesterday's page also a lot of action packed. I'm just going to a fair at the moment, a mega mall in the city of Bet Shemesh, which is once a year they have just for the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. They're going to have loads of different stands. I'm going to take a lot of different recordings over here. We're right by an American area. Let's give you a short tour while we are on live together over here on this video. And everyone tuning in live, please subscribe to our channel and our community. Look at the views here of Israel. We've got, as we explore, we do tours all over Israel's channel. If anyone wants to watch a full video of this tour, we already recorded one here. The street is called the Rifain Street in Ramat Shemesh Aleph, which I very much recommend everyone to look at. There's actually a very big archaeological park right in front of me. If you see the orange slides on that hill where they've got, let's say, olive presses, mikvaot, ritual baths from, let's say, many hundreds of years ago, and so on and so forth. Many different importances, let's just say, in of itself. So it's a very archaeological, very historic area in of itself. And they've got, like, let's say, this fair once a year period. So that's something that I will also like to stress to everyone over here. Now, this is the 82nd page, friends, of the Gemara. That means, hence we've done 81 pages, because obviously we started on Daf Bet, obviously, because all the Gemaras will start in the second page, respectively. So, yeah, making fantastic progress at the moment. I urge everyone, to join our channel, join our community, as we record over a lot of videos on a daily basis. So, I'll definitely a very, very nice roundabout just on just right next to me over here, and just soaking up the pressure and enjoying the sights and scenes of the beautiful land, country of Israel over here. So that's very, very interesting. So it's Shalom Rabbi, how are you? Yeah, Baruch Hashem. So very interesting. Have a great day. We just explore some of the sights and sounds of Israel. I'm just going to go inside the synagogue now, and we will call it a day, friends. Get ready, and there's going to be this mall, so watch the action. There's going to be a lot of action, there's Ras Hashem, within regards to the Gemara and other videos that we're going to record, hopefully, in the due process. Yeah, so I think on this note, please, everyone, join the channel, join the community, and subscribe. I'm wishing you well, and thanks for watching.